Namaste Gurukulians, hope you all are fit, fine and healthy and also giving you some time to study. Okay. So, bache, in this very lecture we are going to discuss about what? As you can see on the board, displacement reaction. So, this is the part 3 of your chapter metals and non-metals of class 8th. Okay. So, in the previous lecture we discussed about what? We discussed about some chemical properties of metals, reaction of metal with oxygen, with water and with acids. Okay. So, in this lecture we are going to discuss about displacement reactions. Bache, as you can see this word displacement, that means when I said that I am going to displace this thing, that means I am going to take the place of that thing. If one student displaces the another student from his seat, that means that another student is going to sit on the seat which is previously occupied by some other ones. Okay. So, displacement reaction means, bache, from the definition, when a reaction in which high reactive metal is going to displace less reactive metal from its solution. Okay. So, bache, it's a very common sense, okay, because a very powerful and a healthy person is going to displace the skinny one or the weaker one. Getting my point? That means here high reactive metal is going to displace what? The less reactive metal from its solution. Okay. Taking an example. Okay. For example, I am having copper sulfate solution. C capital, Cu is copper, SO4 is for sulfate. So, the name of this compound is copper sulfate. I am having the solution of copper sulfate. So, it is a metal and solution of metal, that means I am having this solution. Okay. I am going to add a more reactive metal than what? Copper. So, I am going to take here an example of magnesium. Okay. Magnesium is highly reactive, copper is less reactive. So, from the definition you can state that this high reactive metal is going to displace what? This less reactive metal from its solution. That means now it is going to form what? Magnesium sulfate plus copper. So, here magnesium metal displaces what? Copper from its sulfate solution. Okay. So, this is known as displacement reaction. Another example is iron. When I am going to add iron in what? Copper sulfate solution, then this iron is more reactive than copper. So, this iron is going to occupy the place of what? Copper from its solution. That means here iron is going to form iron sulfate and going to replace the copper. So, here new compound is going to form. MgSO4 is bache magnesium sulfate and FeSO4 is what bache? Iron sulfate. Okay. So, now the question is, if I am going to take another example, like here in place of iron I am going to use your silver, gold. Okay. So, Ag is a symbol of silver. When I am going to add silver in copper sulfate solution, okay, what I observed? Here no reaction is going to take place. Here no reaction is taking place. Why? The reason is because silver metal is what beta? Less reactive than copper. So in this example, copper is high reactive and this silver is less reactive. So that means this less reactive can't displace more reactive metal from its solution. So be very precise about the definition. Only a stronger or high reactive metal is going to displace the less reactive metal, but a less reactive metal can't displace what? High reactive metals. So now question should come in mind that ma'am, just by seeing we can't state that this is more reactive than copper and this is less reactive than copper. Getting my point? So yes, you are right bachi on your place. So to solve this confusion, we are having what? We are having a reactivity series. Reactivity series. This series states that which metal is more reactive and which metal is less reactive. Very good. So in the reactivity series, metals are arranged in what? In decreasing order of what bache? Reactivity. Very nice. So that means from reactivity series you can easily state that this one is more reactive and this metal is less reactive. So bache, here I am going to write the symbol of the metals, okay, because just build that habit in you to just remember the symbols of the metal. Each and every time there is no need to write the full name of metal. But when you are writing in your notebook for the first time, you have to write with names and with symbol also. Like first one is potassium. The symbol for potassium is K. The another one is sodium, Na. Potassium, sodium, calcium. This table is also present in your science book, that is Amazing Science, okay. So potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, okay. Aluminium, then zinc, iron, lead, copper, silver, mercury and then gold. So this table is in vertical direction, okay. Getting my point? So bache, from this table you can easily state that this is more reactive and this is less reactive. So what we have taken? We have taken this copper sulfate solution, so copper position is here, okay. I think I should write this table again so that it will be easy for you to compare the reactivity of the metals, okay bache. So here I am just using the what beta? I am just using the symbols. So now here potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, okay, iron, lead, copper, silver, mercury, then gold, okay. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, copper, silver, mercury and then gold. So moving down, reactivity decreases. So in the example we have taken what? Copper sulfate solution. So the position of copper is here and I am going to react this solution with magnesium. Reaction is going to occur because magnesium is more reactive than copper. So magnesium can easily displace copper from its solution. Another one is iron. Iron can easily displace because iron is more reactive than copper. But this silver, gold, they are less reactive than copper. So here they are not able to displace this copper because the position of silver is somewhere here, okay. So below copper, silver is present. So the elements or the metals which are below that particular substance, they are not going to show the displacement reactions, but the metals which are above this particular metal, okay, they can easily displace it from its solution. So this is regarding your theoretical part, okay. But today we are going to do some interesting experiment, that means fun with the chemicals. As you can see on the table, I am having different things just to show you that these things are not only to be memorized, they are practical and you can easily see that particular change in front of your eyes, okay. So today we are going to discuss about the 3 activities. Okay beta, and these 3 activities are listed in your book also. So the first activity which I am going to perform is the reaction of what we have studied in lecture number 2, that magnesium on reaction with oxygen led to the formation of MgO, that means name is magnesium oxide. And one more thing, this magnesium oxide when dissolved in water, H2O is water. So the compound here formed is basic in nature and the compound formed is MgOH twice, that is magnesium hydroxide. You need not to remember this thing, okay. In higher classes you will study this thing, but only thing you should remember is magnesium ribbon. Okay, the activity is magnesium ribbon when bonds in the presence of oxygen present in air led to the formation of what? Magnesium oxide. And when magnesium oxide dissolved in water, what is going to form? A basic solution is going to form. And beta, how will know that this is a basic solution? Because basic solution turns red litmus to blue. That means the color of this red litmus paper, okay, just see, this is your red litmus paper, okay, the color here is red, but when I am going to put this red litmus paper in this basic solution, it's going to change its color and the color is going to be what? The blue one, okay. So the first activity I am going to show you is this. This is the spirit lamp beta, okay, for burning of the magnesium ribbon. So firstly I am going to what? Light up this. Okay, so this is magnesium ribbon, okay. So I am going to take this amount of magnesium ribbon and with the help of tongue, this is a tongue, okay, and with the help of tongue I am going to hold this magnesium ribbon for safety point of view, okay. So here I am having this magnesium oxygen is present in the air, okay. I am going to heat this magnesium ribbon. So this magnesium ribbon is going to burn with a white dazzling flame, as you can see very clearly. The precaution is you have to keep it as away from your eyes, okay, as possible. So the white dazzling flame, it represents, okay. So this compound is now, this is not magnesium. Now which thing I am having in the tongue is magnesium oxide. So I am going to place this magnesium oxide in this watch glass. As you can see now the color is white, okay. So we need not require any fire thing, so we will just blow it off, okay bache. So this is what? Magnesium oxide. It burns with a white dazzling flame. And if I am going to add this magnesium oxide, okay, and going to add this magnesium oxide in the test tube and going to dissolve it with water. So here we can't use just normal water, okay, that's why I am using this distilled water. It contains only H2O molecule. So with the help of dropper I am going to pour some water in the test tube to make this magnesium oxide dissolve, okay. So a little bit of shaking, okay, so that it will be easily soluble, okay. It got solubilized in water completely. So now what we are going to do? We are going to add this magnesium oxide water in the test tube and going to mix it to form a basic solution. And this basic solution is going to do what? Is going to change the color of what? Bache, this red litmus paper, okay. So I am going to tear one red litmus paper, okay. So this is your red litmus paper. As you can clearly see that it is red in color, but when I am going to dip this magnesium ribbon inside this test tube. Okay. So bachche, this is already dissolved. Okay. So I am going to put it inside this, or second thing what I can do, I just pour some of this solution on the litmus paper. Okay. So you can see that now the solution changes its color from red to what? Blue. Previously its color is red, but now this strip changes to blue in color. That means this particular solution is basic in nature. You can clearly see, okay bachche, because this is basic. So that's why it turns the red litmus to blue. So this is your first activity. The second activity. The second activity is, beta, we discussed that when metal reacts with any of the acid, it's going to form a salt as well as hydrogen gas is released. Okay, we discussed this reaction in part 2. So here I am taking an example of iron. In your activity it is zinc. You can take any of this. Okay, and in place of acid I am going to use HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, and FeCl2 will form and hydrogen is going to, that is your ferrous chloride, and hydrogen gas is going to remove. This hydrogen gas, the detection of this hydrogen gas is popping sound. That means when you are going to place a burning matchstick near this hydrogen gas or near the mouth of the test tube, then it is going to burn with a popping sound. Okay, but this popping sound is very not in such intensity that you can hear it now. So I am just going to show you that how this hydrogen gas bubbles is going to release. Okay bachche. So again I am taking this test tube and I am having this iron fillings. I am having what? Iron fillings. So with the help of spatula I am going to take a pinch of this iron fillings in the test tube. As you can see, here is a black portion. Okay, so these are the iron fillings, and I am going to add what? I am going to add this HCl. This is HCl, that is hydrochloric acid in diluted form. So on adding both the things, okay, on adding both the things, just a little bit of shaking, and you can see it very clearly how vigorously the reaction is going on. As you can see on the test tube, this black portion is going to deposited and a gas is releasing, because when I am going to place my thumb, I am feeling this pressure. So you can easily see that how vigorous the reaction is. And now these bubbles which are forming, these bubbles is of what? These bubbles are of hydrogen gas, and the hydrogen gas is evolving out. So if I am going to place what? Burning matchstick near the mouth of this test tube, hydrogen gas is going to burn with a popping sound. So I think beta it is visible to you. If it is not visible, okay, you can just zoom it. And when you come here in the Gurukul, we are going to perform this experiment in our lab. So you can easily see how vigorous the reaction is. The bubbles are forming and it's a very reactive reactions. Okay, so this is about your reaction number 2. Very good. So now the next is, the third activity is regarding your displacement reaction. So in the displacement reaction I am going to take what? I am going to take an example of two metals. First one is iron and second one is magnesium. Iron from these iron filling and magnesium from magnesium ribbon. And what I am going to add? I am going to do the reaction with copper sulfate. In both the reactions, what will happen? The reaction is going to occur because in the reactivity series the position is magnesium, iron, then copper. So they both can easily replace this copper. Okay. So here iron sulfate is going to form and copper is going to remove, and here magnesium MgSO4 and what? Copper is going to remove. You can clearly see. Okay. Beta, here I am going to add, okay, this copper sulfate, I am having this water. Okay, so this copper sulfate solution is what? It is blue in color. It is what, beta? It is blue in color. But here in these two test tube, in one test tube I added what? Magnesium ribbon, and in another I added what? Bache, iron film. So you can compare the color of these three test tubes. This is blue, this one is greenish, and this one is colorless. So that means what? After some time, after the reaction, this copper sulfate turns into magnesium sulfate in this test tube, because magnesium ribbon is added, and in this iron filling is added. So beta, by seeing these reactions you can easily correlate with your basic concepts. So this is about this lecture. Okay, in next lecture we discuss about the chemical properties of non-metal. So do your best, study hard. Thank you.